Thank you for participating in the Money Matters program. For those of you who received this book, the pages will be on the bottom of this video. For those of you who did not receive a book, you can access this information on our website, www.dhfunforkids.com. Welcome to Session 3 of the Money Matters program. In today's session, you'll understand some standard deductions from your income, and we will talk more about expenses that may come up in the future. First, let's discuss your income. Some of you may have had jobs before, and others may not have. That's okay. On your paychecks, you'll notice there's two amounts of pay: gross pay and net pay. Gross pay is the total amount you earn before deductions are taken from your check. And then there's net pay, the total amount you earn after your deductions are made. Now we're probably thinking, I've worked for $10 an hour for 10 hours. I should get paid $100. Unfortunately, that is not the case. We have standard deductions that are in our paychecks, such as federal tax. A percentage of your paycheck will go to the federal tax, will go to the federal government. Social Security tax. A percentage of your paycheck will go to a Social Security tax, meaning when you retire or if you get put on disability, this money will be there for you. State tax. Just like the federal tax, a percentage of your paycheck will go to the state government. Medicare. Medicare helps pay for senior citizens' medical bills and medical expenses. 401k. 401k is part of a retirement plan that you can take out each week to invest in your future. And then there's insurances. Some businesses offer health insurance for employees, and that's also taken out of their paychecks. For today's activity, we're going to talk about income. Income is any money we receive, such as gifts, paychecks, and allowances. Now, how we receive this income is simple. There's hourly, which is if you work for five hours and you get paid $8 an hour, that would be hourly pay. Then there's salary. Your income is already decided, but your pay comes in chunks, like 1 week or 2 weeks. Paychecks. And then there's contract work. When you get done completing a task, you get paid. Sort of like a contractor or a hairstylist. Contract work is sort of like your allowances. If you get paid $25 for mowing the yard, once you complete mowing the yard, you get your $25. Sometimes we are not able to work because we are too young or do not have enough time with school or sports. But there are some times where we do have spare time. For example, when I was in high school, I worked at a cleaning service provider during the summer. Now I want you to look at these 3 questions. What talents do you have? What are you good at doing or making? And what kind of activities do you enjoy? Even if we are not able to use our interest to earn extra income now, they may still give us an idea of what we would like to do with our lives in the future. Now please take the time to answer these questions. To finish today's activity, we are going to look at expenses. And expenses are anything you spend money on. It's going to be food, transportation, rent, shoes, or video games. To make a budget, you will need to classify all of your expenses. You do not have to list every item of food you buy or every grocery store you go to. Instead, you can have one category called groceries and budget a certain amount to cover all expenses. There are 2 types of expenses. There are essential expenses and there are discretionary expenses. Essential expenses are money you must spend on. Examples: these include savings, homes/apartments, groceries, transportation, utilities, and medical. And then our discretionary expenses. These come from money that you'd like to spend but do not have to. Examples of these: eating out, health and fitness, entertainment, shopping, personal care, and gifts and donations. Now we're going to conclude today's session. Today we talked about income and expenses. These things will help us build a balanced budget in the future. To conclude today's session, we want to speak about a term you may have heard before. This term is living paycheck to paycheck. Whatever money comes in each month, all that money is in turn, 'turn, 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 Your family may not live this way, but if you do, or know a family that does, it's certainly nothing to be ashamed about. Growing up, my family lived this way, and it still does to this day. Our goal throughout the Money Matters program is for you to discover ways to may be able to avoid this in the future, even if you're not dealing with it now. We learned earlier about our wants and needs. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices and not get the things we want in order to buy the things we need. What we're going to talk about now is a concept called the 10% rule. What the 10% rule is this. States whenever you receive any income at all, whether it is a birthday cash or a paycheck from a job, that 10% of that money goes into a saving account. You may not be able to do this now, but in the future, it'd be a good idea to do so. You'll be able to get ahead financially and have some security if something comes up. Thank you for being a part of today's session.